welcome to prompt number 111. That's right, 111. It's only interesting because there's 3 similar letters. Those are numbers. Wow. Let's just get into it before I embarrass myself anymore. Okay, whoa, that was not the page. We're losing it. All right, we have sunglasses and bow tie. All right, let's get started and not have another fail. Ha ha ha, Kasey, but isn't all of your art a fail? Ha ha, got him. Self-deprecating humor is the best humor. Okay, so now that we have that hilarious joke out of the way, let's talk about the sketches. So things started off rough as they do. I really wasn't sure what to do for these prompts. Sunglasses and bow tie seemed like opposites to me. Like if I were going to create 2 characters, one would be cool and wearing sunglasses and the other would be a dork and wearing a bow tie. But for some reason, the first thing that popped into my head was a baby at the beach wearing sunglasses that had bodyguards, I guess. And I kept going back to the bodyguard idea, and I wanted to make the bodyguard idea really cool, but I just wasn't coming up with anything. For some reason, I also thought of a horse that had a bow tie, and the person riding the horse had sunglasses. I really had no idea. So then I also drew a child that was too cool for school kid at a birthday party, and there was a wacky clown trying to, get the kid to laugh or whatever. I don't know, you guys. As I've mentioned 100 times before, been in a block for like over a month now, I feel like. So the ideas aren't there, but I push on. So I did a real hard thinking about this prompt because I want to like my prompts. I always hate it when I get a prompt, I do the prompt and I don't like it, and all I do is sit here and talk about how I don't like the drawing. I like to like my drawings, I know, very unusual, right? So what I ended up coming with was going back to the idea of the bow tie and the glasses, or the sunglasses rather, being 2 very opposite things, at least 2 very opposite features when it comes to designing characters. Because sunglasses are thought of such a really cool thing to wear, and bow ties are kind of nerdy, I thought I would go with 2 opposite characters that are together in a way that makes them together. So what that means, originally, these 2 characters were going to be brothers. Because when you have a brother or sister or sibling or whatever, usually you are pretty close with your brother or sister. I know not everybody gets along with their brother or sister, but with me, for example, my sister is... Hey, Allison. She's more of a hipster, whereas I'm just like, I don't know, what am I? But because we grew up together, we played video games, we watched anime, so we do have that one similarity. All of her other friends, however, are not people that I could see myself hanging out with because we're just so different. But because we are siblings, we hang out and we do have something that's similar between us. So going back to the drawing, I drew this really cool older kid and this really dorky, nerdy little chunkster of a kid. But as I continued to work on this piece, from sketching to inking to drawing, I started to think, what if this was like a cool dad? What if this wasn't the brother? What if this was like a single dad who was really cool and really young? Maybe he had a kid at a young age. And maybe the mom died, so he's single, and in the background you can see all of the single moms at the school who are just swooning over him every time he has to go to some sort of school event. The moms are like, ooh la la, it's him, and they just stand around gawking at his coolness. So in this situation, I was thinking the kid was either going to give a speech or be in a play or do something that he didn't want to do. Originally, when I was thinking about this being the older brother, I was thinking the little kid wanted to ask out someone that he liked and he was too scared. And in the background, there was going to be all of these school girls that liked the older brother because he's a cool older brother, so all the girls like him. So the difference between the 2 characters there was going to be this little chunky, shy, nerdy kid doesn't have the confidence to ask out a girl, yet his older brother he's got all the girls at any time that he wants them. But then I turned it into a cool dad. I don't know, for some reason I just liked it more as a cool young dad rather than an older brother. I think the older brother situation just seemed a little bit more cliche, and the dad thing I feel like I don't see quite as often. Plus look at him, what a cool dad. When it came to coloring his hair, I wanted to keep him younger because he's a cool dad. He's still kind of young, So I gave him just a little stripe of gray in his hair, which made me realize I didn't shade his hair. At the end of the video, his hair is did I say shave or shaded? I didn't shade his hair, so I guess I'm going to have to add that in later. Whoopsie, I felt like when I was working on this illustration, I just kept forgetting things, and I don't know why. I'm telling you, things are off, you guys. So I was playing around with the pose of the, I guess, dad. We're going to call him a dad now. He's supposed to be hunched over as if he's talking to the kid. Like, you can do it, bud. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna get him. So he's hunched over, and also because the kid is shorter, he's having to hunch over. But like, guys, it just looks like he has no neck. You know, I'm still learning, I'm still practicing. Sometimes it's really good to just focus on drawing a character on a white background so that you can practice your characters and your poses and, you know, don't lose the ability to just do that. So for the kids' design, I wanted them to be quite opposite of the dad. So because the dad is such a cool dad, he's got his old varsity jacket on, which who knows how old that is. I made the kid kind of dorky, so he's got suspenders, pink tall socks, a pink plaid shirt. Obviously not the coolest kid at school, but it's your kid. He's the dad and he's got to stick with him. So there are our characters. Thankfully at this point I am almost done completing the illustrations because I got up and I bumped the cord that was plugged into my phone, which is what I'm using to record because my camera is being fixed right now. Because I'm recording with my phone, it doesn't have a screen that pops up so conveniently and looks at me so I can keep an eye on the footage. So I bumped a wire, didn't notice that the camera had moved, and everything was askew, but thankfully you can still see everything. It's just askew. You know, I'm just trying to keep you guys on your toes. Overall, I think this duo is pretty cute. I really like the earthy, colorful colors on these two characters. They seem like they're having fun. They have a good father-son vibe going on. Honestly, I do think my favorite part about this illustration are the girls in the background. They were just so much fun to exaggerate their curves and their shapes. And there's just a bunch of them back there being all silly. And that was definitely my most favorite part about this illustration was the ladies in the background. So thanks, ladies, I enjoyed ya. I swear I always like the most random small details of my illustrations that honestly you could probably take out of the illustration completely and you would still have the same illustration. Remember the Turnip King? I will never forget the Turnip King from the pinball prompt. I love that little guy. That's what I love about these prompts. Even though the main prompt doesn't have to be the focus, I can always create something inspired from that prompt that I really like, even if it's not, you know, the thing that I was drawing. Anyways, as to finishing this illustration, I just kind of put a circle of boarded floor on the ground to represent the fact that they're in a school or something somewhere inside with hardwood floors. I'm going to draw a background for the next prompt. You have my promise, and now I heckin' have to do it, so dangle. Well, I hope next week's prompts are going to make for really good backgrounds, because if I get something like, I don't know, space, that would be a very bad background. Though I think we've already done space. Anyways, alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this prompt. It was kind of a weird one, but I will see you guys on the end card to look at your prompts from last week. Last week's prompts were tripod and curtains, and you guys had, Mr. Kitty, thank you. I was going to say you guys were really creative until my cat crashed that. Our first featured artist is Hand Knitted Blanket, who had this really interesting figure built out of a tripod and curtains, and it's kind of creepy. It's really cool, it's really creative, and I really enjoyed it, so thank you. Our second featured artist, Share Bear, created this really lovely scene of a kid in a living room hiding around a curtain and the mom or whoever is trying to take a picture of them. And it's such a simple yet lovely little moment. I just really loved this piece. It was just so cute, such a moment that we see here. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining in on the prompt, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!